Welcome back to the pile. This past weekend at YCS Fort Worth, I decided to take Burning Abyss for my first ever American event. And boy, did I have a lot of fun. Shout outs to all of you guys who were there. It was awesome. I'm sure you guys will see a lot of content coming out from Fort Worth with all three of us, like me, Gage, and Doug. So it's been really cool. It's been really awesome. Thank you. And just a little disclaimer before we get into this. I want to say that this isn't your standard typical deck profile. If you're literally just looking for a card for card list and nothing else, I'll leave that for you in the description, and you can leave and click off the video now. But for those of you who are interested in the real in-depth kind of nuances and micro decisions that were involved in building this deck, then please feel free to keep watching, because I feel like I did put a lot of effort into fine-tuning the sort of little tiny decisions here and there, and every ratio and every card choice I can fully justify and explain to you. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. I unfortunately didn't do very well at all. I ended up going 6-3 to 5-4. 5-4. It was 5-4. It was terrible. 5-4. So it was garbage. But in all fairness, I don't think that's a downfall of the deck itself. I think I personally made a couple of bad decisions here and there, and that's really ultimately what led to me not doing well. I believe that there's no reason this deck is incapable of topping, other than the fact it just needs a good pilot to take it to a deck. So maybe you guys will have better fortune with this, because I promise you the list itself has been functioning great. Now, before I get into this, I think that rather than doing it as a standard deck profile, it's probably best that you understand this from a different perspective. When building combo decks, I try my best to establish a win condition, and I believe that this is the best way to build all combo decks, is establish your win condition, find some kind of combo per se that works best or that is fitting to what you're trying to achieve, and then you build your deck around that combo. And that's exactly what I've done. So this deck profile is actually going to make much more sense to you if I show you the combo and explain to you how it actually works before we actually show you the card choice. So first and foremost, this combo works with Tour Guide and a level 3. It works with Rhino and 2 level 3s, or it works with 4 level 3s. Now you can probably tell where my deck profile is going to go with those requirements in mind. It is level 3 the deck. So we're trying to get to Cherubini as quickly as possible, and then basically go into the full Orcus combo, etc. from there. Now what you're going to do is you're going to normal summon your Fiendish Rhino Warrior, special summon any level 3 from your hand, not just Burning Abyss monsters, etc. And the reason I'm playing a lot of non-Burning Abyss monsters is because of the fact that if they impermanence Rhino here, I literally lose the game. So that's why I'm playing a lot of level 3s to help me extend through negation and stuff. Rhino's going to trigger here when it's sent to the graveyard for the link summon of the Cherubini. Sending Graph, who's going to get you Seer. And then at this point, Cherubini is going to trigger, you can activate it to send a level 3 to your deck. So this is where you send Sea Archiver, and that's going to allow you to special summon him after you special summon any BA from your hand into this link zone. This triggers Sea Archiver and brings him out from the grave. And now you're going to go into Dante. Dante is going to, in my opinion, not mill. At this point in the combo, I just want to take a little quick break here to explain really quick why I don't mill here. The reason for that is that this deck is completely, and you probably noticed that at the very start, is completely focused around Hydralander. But generally, there's really nothing to gain here other than like trying to get a tour guide search. Mill, don't mill, whatever the case is, you're going to send your level 3 and your Dante with Seer underneath it to make Nightmare Cerberus. That's going to trigger Dante and Seer here. I don't know why I'm looking at my deck. So Seer goes back to your hand and Dante comes here. Now, it's a pretty cool thing here that comes up is that people will usually like Phantasma you and the Cherubini if they have it. So because of the way that you can chain block the Cerberus, you can basically just get rid of the, what's his name? The Phantasma really easily here. But obviously it requires a lot of discards. You're using your whole hand for this combo essentially. You're going to make Beatrice here. I'm not sure if there's like better Yep, Beatrice over Cerberus, exactly. I'm not sure if there's better zone placements for the Beatrice. But I generally like to make it over here. So you make your Beatrice over here, and then this Cerberus turns into Mermaid, and then this is where you need your 4th random card. It doesn't really matter what it is to discard. This gets you into your Orcus place here. So yes, I am playing the Orcus version of this deck, just because I feel like it offers a lot more power and such than regular BA. At this point, you're going to make a 2 material Apollousia, and that's going to offer you some more protection, and it's going to be a good way to get some negations and stuff on board as well, as not just the regular disruption that Beatrice offers. So Nightmare is going to send Skeleton here, actually. You don't go for Harp, you go straight into Skeleton. Banish the Skeleton and bring back the Galatea. Now, there's a little minor point of variance here on this combo. You can end on Dingirsu here. So, for example, if I discarded like a danger monster off of the Nightmare Mermaid, you'd have another extra monster on board here. So instead of Nightmare sending Skeleton directly, you would go for Harp Horror, and then Harp and the extra monster, like the danger, makes the Galatea, and then the Skeleton would bring back the second Galatea. So you would end on Dingirsu in the middle and Galatea on the left here, just to make it co-linked for the not destruction effect. But in the case of just the basic 3-card combo, you're going to return the Skeleton to the deck, set Crescendo, and there you go. That is the main combo of this deck and how I've decided to build this and run with. And that's you know, just 3 cards. So, you know, you might have drawn like a hand trap. You might have drawn obviously the Hydralander, the heart and soul of this deck, and the purpose behind playing this, etc., etc. So there you go. That's the main combo, and hopefully that should make sense for the deck profile. We are completely focusing around the 3 copies of Hydralander. Hydralander, if you don't know what it is a card that says that if you have no monsters in your graveyard with like in multiples, so if you have like only 1 of each monster and you have 5 total, you can just special summon him. Level 8 body, 3000 attack, and he has an effect that he can mill 3 for cost and destroy a card on the field it does not target. And on top of that, it needs to, again, have no multiples in the graveyard to resolve. So that's the entire purpose of this deck and how I've built it. So this is why some of the ratios and stuff will look very weird. I played 1 Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. I feel like this was maybe perhaps a little bit overkill. It was fine for me, to be honest. It's almost always live. Going second, it's great because you can banish Dante to pop cards on the field, etc. The chain blocks, the non-targeting is really useful, but you might decide not to play this because too many boss monsters, etc. Played another boss monster. This is quite a lot at this point, but Gizmek, just a really great card in the grind game. Most of the stuff that you need in your deck, like all the one-offs and stuff, you can get out of your deck turn 1 with all the searching and stuff that you do, so you're not really at risk of banishing too much useful stuff. So I guess that's like 5 boss monsters in total. I can understand if you don't want to play that many. Now, onto the Burning Abyss cards themselves. I played a grand total of 12 Burning Abyss monsters, and a lot of them are, you know, like one-offs, but we'll start with these. I played Skarm initially, and then 2 Farfa. 2 Farfa is very important because if you draw 1, you need to be able to send something with Beatrice. So it's way too important. I feel like you would always play 2 Farfa. And the 2 Skarm, again, I didn't really want to play like another random crap name because I am playing a lot of bad names here, like, you know, Dragegg, Kagna. Barbar is useful, obviously, for time. And we also have like Alich for effect negation, I guess, if it's, you know, more viable than sending Farfa. Libich, Calcab, and of course Grafseer. So 12 Malabranches, of course, very symbolic of Dante's Inferno. If you've read the poem, if you're watching this profile and you haven't read Dante's Inferno, then I guess you're not a real Burning Abyss player, smiley face. But yeah, the only one you could really afford to cut here would be like Skarm for like a Rubik or something, just because yeah, like the multiple thing with Hydraland. But I was really greedy and I did really want to see like the Skarm. Now, of course, I played 12 because, well, it's statistically you have something like a 77% chance to open 2 BAs, which, you know, again, like this deck revolves around opening multiple level 3s and you give yourself the highest chance possible. I did initially try 3 Fiendish Rhino Warrior, again, because the multiples is really, really bad with Hydralander, but this was way, way too good to not open. It's just like the best card in the deck to open every time, which is kind of weird because I almost always side it out, since a lot of the cards in my side deck are normal summons. But we'll get into that once we get to the side deck portion. And of course, the final quote-unquote BA monster, tour guide from the underworld. The level 3 extenders, of which I'm playing a lot of them. I'm playing 2 Danger Jackalope, 2 Danger Tsuchinoko, 1 Gallus, 1 Psychic Tracker, 1 Psychic Weed Dealer, 1 Crusadia Reclusia, who, by the way, can target itself to destroy a card that your opponent controls. The idea here is that you summon this under Cherubini and it just pops a card for free because Cherubini will protect Reclusia from destroying itself. So you essentially get a free pop when you open it. A really good in this deck, in my opinion. Z Archiver, as you saw from the combo, is very important there. And that's it for my level 3 extenders. I think I'm playing 7 or 8 total. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, actually. So in total, you have about 9, which means that you're going to have, I believe it was like 72% chance of opening a level 3 extender, just one of them. which is what you need. Just level 3 extenders are really good. Again, because of the play that I mentioned with the Fiendish Rhino Warrior getting negated can be pretty deadly if you've opened a BA heavy hand. So having a level 3 extender is really important if your opponent has the impermanence for the Rhino. And then finally, of course, the Orcusk engine is just 1 heart, 1 skeleton, 2 nightmare. I was actually playing 1 for the longest time, and honestly, it wasn't even that bad. And wand, decided to play wand as well. I included it in the end, very last minute, because it's just more extenders and more ways to help you going second. This deck like cuts through butter going second versus back row, so it's really good for that. Like, I wish I played versus more Sky Striker, since I feel like that's maybe this deck's best match. But yeah, that's the Orcust engine here. And finally, we have 3 Sekka's Light. You're probably wondering how does Sekka's Light work with Crescendo? Well, here's the theory. I know it kind of seems odd at first, and I thought it was really dumb at first when I first heard of it, but it's actually completely sensible. You just, it's Pot of Greed. Why would you not play that? And the chance of opening a 3 of that's an unsearchable card is about 34%. So in the other, 60 whatever percent of duels, you're just not going to see this card ever. But you're almost basically every single hand in this deck will see Crescendo. So the vast majority of the time, your Crescendo is going to be live. You're going to use Crescendo, and it's going to be great for everyone. But a third of the games, you're going to see Sekka's Light, and the trade-off is that you just draw 2 cards. So, yes, some of your games, Crescendo won't be live, but it doesn't matter because, you're going to do one or the other. So that's fine. So that is 39 cards total, and my very last final card is Ash Blossom and Seasonal Depression. The reason I decided to play 1 single hand trap in the main deck is just because, honestly, I just ran out of extenders and good BA names to play. I thought 12 was a good number. I thought 9 on the level 3 extenders were good. I really couldn't bring myself to play Warwolf or Kagemucha Knight, so I was like, let's just play 1 random level 3 we can normal summon if we need to, or really tilt our opponent and tell him, hey, by the way, I drew the 1 of Ash in my entire deck. Smiley face. So yeah, I mean, this could probably be something else, but the Ash Blossom was literally just the 40th card, and I wasn't really sure what else I wanted to play. Now, the extra deck, of course, 1 singular Dante. We don't need more. 2 has come up very rarely, but it has come up, so that's something to consider. Dingirsu, Beatrice. For Breaking Boards going second, Break Sword is really cool. I don't make Dante going second, but I will usually make Break Sword. And the reason for that is the Cherubini effect. You can protect Cherubini, so protect him through Cherubini's effect. So you get to detach, pop a card for free, essentially, and then link him off. That's pretty cool. And, of course, the Appaloosa you saw from the main combo. The Cherubini, I'm playing 2 Galatea and Longirsu. 2 Galatea, definitely, always worth playing. Longirsu is probably one of the semi-cuttable cards in this deck. I'll show you the semi-cuttable cards from the extra at the end, but that's that engine there. I played 4 Nightmares. Just really good for breaking boards going second. The Cerberus interaction with Phantasme is why I decided to include it instead of just, going with Phoenix and Mermaid and no other Nightmares or something. I felt it was really good. And, this deck has a lot of cards that just do things in the graveyard. You discard an Orcus, you discard a Gizmek. So you never really nag when you're trying to use these going second. And they really do put in a lot of work. The Unicorn especially for random things that came up in testing, like Block Dragon. So that was cool. So 4 Nightmares there, and then finally 1 Boral Sword and a Boral Load Dragon. Boral Load is not that necessary. I feel like the Thunder Dragon matchup is really good for this deck. The Thunder Dragon matchup is really good for this deck. You have Farfa, you have Alich to negate the Colossus. You can push, you don't search. You can push through their fusion monsters like butter. In fact, if you watch the stream on the Sunday where me, House of Champs, and DZ were streaming, I managed to kill him through his board of double Titan, double Colossus by opening 3 Lava Golem, and I still win because I opened 2 BAs and Extender, and 3 Lava Golem. So, yeah, the Thunder Dragon matchup is really good, so this is probably cuttable. But it does have some uses, I guess, if you want to steal something clutch that you can't really out by targeting and things like that. Of course, Boral Sword's there for the OTK. So that's 15 cards. Now, you might be wondering, and you might have noticed if you're observant, is there is no Pimp Dante. Pimp Dante, unfortunately, I just never really need that. People always play around the Beatrice destruction. Sky Striker players will Widow Anchor it and then link it away. people will like mind control it. They will do everything in their power to avoid the Beatrice. So I decided to go with the absolute huge big brain cranium play of just don't play the Fusion Dante XD. Like this, I remember I was staring. My opponent had the Prankatrops, and he was staring down Beatrice in defense, and he literally didn't use the Prankatrops to pop my Beatrice because he was just so scared of the Pilgrim coming out. And after the end of the match, I was like, bro, I don't even play it. But I mean, you could find space for it if you really want to, I guess. 3 Lava Golem in the side deck. You might be wondering why not Sphere Mode. Versus Orcust, generally they will end on like something like maybe like 2 monsters like Dingirsu, Galatea. Thunder Dragon players sometimes play around Sphere Mode and they only end on like 2 monsters, etc, etc. So there's a lot of like just decks that only really end on 2 monsters, and versus like something insane like the Guard Dragon thing. Again, you just really hit like Seal and the Hot Red, and there's really no other like major negate that they have that you really would like to tribute, and you can kind of just play through it with your BAs. So getting rid of 2 monsters was actually really clutch, because Sphere Mode is a little bit overkill, and it's completely dead in your hand if they don't have the 3rd thing. The only card I side going first is Vanity's Fiend, because it's really easy to do the full combo in this deck without using your normal summon. I always side out the Fiendish Rhino Warriors, which might seem as like a contradiction, but I will tell you a little bit about the siding patterns. But generally, when I go first, I don't side anything in except 3 Vanity's Fiend for 3 Rhino Warrior, because I don't want to draw too many normal summons. Sometimes I'll keep the 1 Rhino Warrior in if I want to, like, you know, just have something to send off of like Cherubini or Beatrice or whatever. Just to like stack the graveyard a little bit more for Hydralander. But other than that, this is literally the only card I put in. Going second versus combo decks, I will, sorry, not combo decks, versus backrow decks, I will put in 3 Twister and 3 Prankatop. Going second versus basically everything. So I'll take out the Sekka's Light, and normally I will take out the World Wand, which I think maybe is probably incorrect, but it's hard to find things. I'll sometimes take out like Levianeer, a World Wand. I can't really think what else, actually. I should probably like have a real think here, but I try and never take out more than 1 Burning Abyss. So essentially, like I'll take out Drag Egg, and like that's about it. Going first, I might occasionally side out like a Reclusia if I need to, like, because some decks, like, you know, like Sky Strike or whatever, you're going to want to keep Twin Twister going first anyway, just because like if they flip Tikaboo on you, like it's game over. Those are all the cards that I side deck. There's 3 missing. It's Spell Canceller. Same logic as Vanity's Fiend. I will just side it in going first versus Sky Striker. Basically that's it for my Sky Striker matchup. Going second, I will always put in Lava Golem versus combo decks, and that's it. And take out Rhino. Rhino, like being a normal summon is just really, you know, kind of sad, but you know, you could argue why not just play Kaijus again. Like generally, like 2 monsters are problematic rather than 1. That's why I played it over Kaijus. There was an argument to play Kaijus because I hit Striker as well, but the side deck isn't perfect, so you guys can consider what you want to put in here yourselves. But that's what I went with. Generally, you just side out the Rhinos for the normal summons, Sekkas for the Twisters, and if you side in 6 cards, you're usually gonna go for like a couple of like random things, like maybe like you know, if you're not playing against a combo deck, I'll side out like the Ash. You can probably afford to side out 1 Burning Abyss monster. But you really don't want to hurt the percentages in your deck. It's very important that you keep your percentages up and make sure that you're always opening extenders and stuff to help you play through those back rows. So these like Dangers and Gallus and Tracker, like these never get sided out basically, just because they're too good at breaking boards going second. So that's my deck that I took to YCS Fort Worth. Didn't do as well as I thought I would, and that's sad, but whatever. I did put a lot of effort into the deck building. I just don't think I played that well per se. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. If you do have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll do my best to address it. Please feel free to take this deck and evolve it and make it better. I would love to see how it ends up and what the new iterations are. Thank you everyone for watching as always, and until next time, I will see you in the end phase.